How about now? We got it? Good. It's good in the chat. And I think we are live. This one's a bit technical. We're definitely going to have to do this differently. And I need to polish up the production value a little bit. Hello and welcome. If you're tuning in via video, you're welcome to jump in the chat. We're going live. This is basically the second episode that we're doing like this. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to try to do them more regularly. I don't know if I'm going to do them. I want to do them more frequently and more regularly, but I don't know how regular I can get with a very irregular schedule. But in any case, more frequently is my priority. And really, I was thinking that the name of today's episode, or the theme of today's episode, is one of my favorite quotes: done is better than perfect. So one of the things I need to figure out to get done is an intro. But in case you don't know who I am, I'm Case. Some of you guys are following me because of mealprepbiz101.com. Some guys are following me for all sorts of stuff because I have kind of a mixed group. Right now, we're going to be speaking specifically on some meal prep stuff, but with these lives, I am going to start getting a little bit more broad, and the episodes are just going to be called Just Case. They will be Ask Me Anything structures in the beginning. I will be doing some more refined, higher quality production value stuff, but really it's just such a pain to set up cameras and lighting and all this software, and I had to get a new thing, and now I'm getting backlit because I wanted to shoot out here instead of in my office where I got a 3D printing project going on. Didn't want that background noise, and now I got background. So all this, I'm going to tell you, I think if I were you, you don't care what I look like. I don't think you guys are here to see my setup or the production value. I think you're here for the information, and that's really what I started this with, was getting you guys the information. And I'm pressured to up the quality and get 4K and better mics and all this other stuff, but it ends up preventing me. There's another quote: don't let the perfect become the enemy of the good. And it's very much in line with, maybe I'll save that for another episode, but it's basically the done is better than perfect. Instead of having perfect lighting, I kind of gave up, and I realized I was getting backlight. I just threw stuff up. Next time, I actually remembered there's a way to now connect my phone as the camera. So instead of having these cables from this camera and the special software that makes this camera talk to this other software, I can just set up my phone and do it. So done is better than perfect. How does that apply to your business? That's another thing that I like to often. I'm a man of quotes. I have a lot of quotes in my head, and that's one of the most applicable to any kind of business project. And I've mentioned it, whether you're starting and we're all guilty of this. I need my own advice. That's why I know these quotes, because I have to constantly repeat them to myself. But let's say you're starting off, and I've mentioned this plenty of times. I've had a similar example where you're going to convince yourself you need to have branding and some pictures and a website, and you're going to do all these things to present to the world a perfect presentation of whatever your business is, whatever your first effort is. Man, I'm going to go through too many quotes. Another famous quote, I think this one comes from Silicon Valley somewhere. Correct me if you want to look it up in the chat. If your first attempt didn't embarrass you, you waited too long to try. So that basically means just get it out there. So instead of setting up, having photographers take pictures of all your food and having a perfect website built and having the logo and all that other stuff, you really wanted to start this, if you were serious about this. And I've had people do this. I think this one of the names that pops out, I think her name was Tony. I want to say it was Tony. It might have been Tony. It was either Tony or Tanya. But she literally moved to a new area, didn't know anybody, had zero network, and started her meal prep by watching one of my videos. She went out, I think that next day or that whole week, knocked on the neighbors' doors, introduced herself, and told them that she is starting a meal prep company. She's right there in the neighborhood. And she got over 10 people just from that one effort within her neighborhood. Not only is that going to make her deliveries super efficient, but that's a great way to start a new nucleus. And she just made some new friends. She just introduced herself to her neighbors. I don't even know my neighbors, honestly. It's such a weird thing now in the 21st century. We live with all these other people closer than ever, at least those of us in the cities, and we rarely know people. So making that effort to reach out to her neighbors, now she is not only getting a business starting from it, but she's already got a new community in an area that she moved to. And this was a while ago. This was probably a couple of years ago that she told me this story, but that was the one that popped in my head. I don't want to be too long with these. I do have some questions, and I know you guys in the chat had some other questions. We're going over a couple of things. I've got some announcements too. Probably talk about the software. Yeah, the software is not public yet, but I am able to start putting people onto it. I don't want to waste too much time talking about the software. Just trust me, it's awesome. Any videos of any software comparisons that you've seen me do before, this is the best software I have ever seen. I'm super excited about it, and I am helping onboard some of my private clients, anybody, but I've got a private access to the company because I've been working with them. I've been consulting with them, telling them what they need. They've been great at taking my input. Again, they're not public yet. They're still kind of testing with all the different variables of meal prep companies, because what a lot of people don't realize, especially software developers, when they try to make meal prep software, how many variables there are in the meal prep business. Because everyone thinks like, oh, restaurant, basically every restaurant's the same. You could have 5-star, you could have a hot dog place, but it's a basic idea. People come in, you've got ingredients in the back, you cook stuff based on a menu that people order, they sit down, they eat it, and then they go home. Pretty easy. But with meal prep, people don't realize that you think meal prep, they're all the same. Now the lighting's, now I'm not backlit, so now it looks like I'm on stage. Sorry, I've got ADD. So with meal preps, everyone's going to assume that they're the same, software developers, and a lot of the software companies out there start like this. They start off doing a one-off piece of order system or something like that, one-off piece of software for a meal prep client, and then they think, wow, there's a lot of meal prep clients, meal prep companies out there. We build a nice little piece of software. Let's go sell it to everybody else. And they'll say, hey, look, we've got this other meal prep on the software. It works. Look at all the bells and whistles. Cool. There's so much to the meal prep business. It's a very high touch business. There's a lot of different things. And as someone who's gone through, dozens and dozens of software demos on both sides of it, I can tell you that it is exhaustive to go through meal prep software because of so many things that they should do, and so many different features and everything. But then there's all their little variables with the different businesses that if you don't know for certain that software can do it, and you upload your software onto it, or you upload your data onto their software and you're running your business on it, and then all of a sudden you realize that after onboarding, spending time, going through demos, setting everything up, data entry, paying them for the setup and whatever onboarding fees or anything, if there are any, or the monthly fee, the subscription, whatever else, now you're on a system that can't fit to your business, so you got to fit your business to it. Now, in some cases, but it could also ruin your business. So some examples of how meal prep companies can easily vary. How many times a week do you deliver? Because some companies deliver every day, some deliver once a week, some don't deliver, some ship nationwide, some use a courier service, some are within a small radius, some are in different hubs where these zip codes, yes, but there's a gap in between where they don't deliver because they have these hubs. For example, if you're in Florida, shipping from Miami to Orlando and then delivering around Orlando and around Miami, but skipping everything in between, that's a possibility. Can your software handle that? Can it recognize what happened? My camera just clicked. You still record? Am I still live? Okay. Well, I'm in the chat. Hopefully this is still live or recording. Can the software recognize based on the zip code of the delivery, whether or not that's someone who can receive your service? Does the software allow your clients to pause? Does it have considerations for allergies? Can you put in custom allergies or things that get flagged? Can the system pick automatically for you so you can have a true subscription system? Can credits be applied? How are they applied? Are you able to have multiple routes going off at different time? Are people automatically assigned to different routes based on their zip code? There's all these different things that get into what the software needs to do based on the variables of the business. And again, it seems easy, but if my software is set up to deliver twice a week and your company only delivers once a week, and I got to figure out what to do with that software feature on that second delivery, or maybe you deliver every day, in which case the software is hard coded to only handle 2 deliveries a week because the company I built the software for only did 2 deliveries a week, and that's what I thought everyone did, or they didn't have multiple routes, whatever. And that's the danger. So I specifically hammered on these guys for years. They've been working on this, and this is a team I worked with. I didn't work with them. I knew them, worked with them. on a previous software. So in any case, I know these guys very well. We have a great relationship. I'm very happy with what they've done. It's been such a long pregnancy. And this is overkill. Some of the stuff they ignored me on was like, hey guys, you don't need that. Done is better than perfect. Let's launch. Example, like labor. This software will manage your labor and you can handle payroll and stuff like that through it. Dude, you don't need that. I'm guessing most of the people who are watching me and in the chat right now probably either don't need labor to be managed by software yet, or they've got another source, or it's getting done. But what you do need is an adequate system that can handle taking the orders and making sure the money comes in so you're able to pay that labor, right? You want something where you can market and you have built-in campaign management and you can see where the marketing dollars are most efficiently spent so you're not wasting your money on campaigns that aren't rendering good clients, right? That's the stuff you want to see. These are the kind of things that are included. The reporting features are amazing. Again, it's overkill. It could have been out. I don't want to think about how long ago it could have been out if they skipped the crazier stuff, but it is, like I said, it's overkill. It is amazing. So sorry, that's my diatribe about that. So I've got a few consulting clients who are onboarding right now. You guys are welcome to sign up. And there's going to be a link somewhere where you can sign up and say that you're interested and you fill out a form. It tells me about your business, how many clients you have, what areas you're in, what languages you service, and whatever else. And there are, I forget how many languages they've already got in there. They're expanding more. So my international clients, I've got people who are in Dubai and in Asia, in Germany. We will be able to accommodate those as well with this software. So I say we like it's my software. It's not my software, but I am. It's like my baby. I feel like I helped raise it. Oh, something I am very excited about, and in the vein of done is better than perfect. I will get to your questions, just getting these announcements out of the way. AI, there's an AI version of me. I'm calling it Case. It's spelled with a CAISE. Clever, right? Case AI. Yes. If you want access to it, right now, the done is better than perfect. Eventually, what I want to be is kind of ChatGPT or Grok. I don't really like ChatGPT as much. Grok, Gemini, any of those other AIs that are out there. I want to eventually have an interface, probably going to be like an app, so you guys can access it on your phone, and you will have a private conversation. You'll have a private, just like a subscription with any of these other guys, but it will be an AI version of me. So it's got my information built into the AI. So when you ask it a question, it's going to be answering based on what I would be answering. It's beyond what the database of information has. It's going to do its best to give you an answer while also letting you know that it's alerting me with your question, the answer it gave you, and gives me an opportunity to come in and give you a better answer, and or add that information that is lacking to the database to make sure that next time someone asks a similar question, that answer is there for them. But already it's very extensive, and I've been playing around with it, and I'm very happy with it. Now the version, again, that's the down the road version where I'm going to build out an app and all that other stuff, and it'll be private. It'll have a longer memory. So it's basically going to be like a business consultant, or like having me in your pocket. You right here with your phone and just be able to ask Case, I'm having this problem with my meal prep, instead of you having to book a consultation hour where really you just have one question and you just want to, it's an emergency, you don't have time to wait to have that consultation, or maybe you just have that one question, or maybe it's 2 a.m, whatever it is. This is a better solution than me giving you my phone number and having you call me at 2 a.m. when you have an emergency. The chat, the private group, currently has a dedicated channel where you can talk with this AI. Now, I wanted to explain what the long-term version looks like and my done is better than perfect version. The chat is obviously private in that it's only accessible to the group, that channel. It isn't public, but anything that you put into that channel is going to be something that somebody else can view who's also a member of the private group. So it's limited to the people who are in the private group, but I'm just saying that so you don't put any personal information in there, or you don't, I don't even give you examples of what type of information, but I was just thinking in case there's something that you want to disclose, maybe you want to talk marketing with it, and maybe you've got a really good niche that you're exploiting, or some really good keywords that you're exploiting in your area, and you put that in that chat, and then there's some other guy with the meal prep company who's in your area, and he happens to read through the chat, and he goes, oh, those keywords are killing it, nobody else is bidding on those, I'm going to start using those keywords. So as much as I want everybody to succeed, if someone has an advantage, I also respect the fact that I'm not giving away your secrets. Now, I'll give away my secrets, but I don't give away your secrets. So I want to make sure that you're mindful of anything that you put in that chat. And again, if you want the private version, now figuring out what the costs are to host it, because there's like costs and there's a couple of subscriptions, because I have to tie in a couple of different, actually I have to use 2, sometimes 3 and 4 different AI subscriptions in order to facilitate this. And there's obviously like costs and then the hosting costs. So once it's built, and cost to finish building it for that app that you guys can download and whatever else. And then there's going to be the ongoing, and it'll be hard to predict. I don't want it to be expensive. I'm trying to make it cheap, but I think what I need to do is get some pre-orders, some people who are like, hey, raise their hand, and they're like, hey, I'm committed. As soon as this is live, I'm willing to monthly subscription, or maybe I'll have a year prepaid or something like that. I'm going to figure out what those costs are, and then figure out the minimum number of people I need to launch it, and at least have first year covered, at least, so that more people can come on and it'll be able to sustain itself. But I at least my goal is to have enough pre-orders or people who commit to pay for that first year, so they'd be able to use it for at least a year. And hopefully we have more people who continue to use it and they also renew their year. Maybe I'll give them a lifetime thing if they're some of the first people. Maybe I'll do that. Keep an eye out. Maybe I'll do a lifetime, like one-time payment, where you've got a lifetime to it, as long as it's being active. I don't think meal preps are going anywhere. So yeah, check out in the private group. It's in the channel. Oh, my one sec. My giving me an alert. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. I had to basically move my little studio. Like I was saying, I'm just gonna strip this down. Even have been playing around with the idea of making an AI version of myself with my voice and even my image. I don't know if that's necessary, but I want to make an AI version of myself that can help with content production. So I can just kind of up a concept, throw it into an AI, read as a script in my voice. Maybe I could do Morgan Freeman. It doesn't really have to be me, does it? I mean, you guys let me know in the comments. Let me see what you guys are saying. My handsome face. Okay, I am getting some people who, it looks like a even split. Some are saying they don't mind the information stand on its own, and I got other people saying that they miss my handsome face and can't get enough of it. Thanks, Paul. Paul and Debbie. Okay, Paul and Debbie. All right, so some of the questions. Where have you been? So how do I explain this? Busy? That's where I've been. I've been busy. You guys ever been there? I'm there all the time. I basically live in busy. So what I decided years ago, I learned some more successful guys who were, people who have their fingers in a bunch of different projects and a lot of things going on. Always struggled with time management, and that's one thing I saw. A lot of successful guys who aren't focused on one thing, they need to really discipline themselves with time management. So one of the things that I decided to do is allocate X amount of hours per week to given projects. So with the Meal Prep Biz 101 Meal Prep Consulting, the amount of hours, and I try to increase the amount of hours when possible, but I have other projects and unrelated consulting clients and a lot of other things going on. Obviously, I try to prioritize personal time too, which I am never good enough at. I continued to increase the amount of hours I was dedicating to this project each week. And with my private consulting clients, that just ended up eating so much of the dedicated project hours, because it's all the same. The consulting clients for Meal Prep Biz are within those chunks of hours. So as those grew, and I have very regular clients, I also have clients who are sporadic, some who are timers. It eats up so much that I don't have time to do production. Like the average minute of finished production that you would see in my videos, for every minute of what you watch, there's probably at least 5 times that going into the production between the setup, making sure I got all my filters and my software and everything's talking to itself. And then especially when it gets into editing and post-production stuff, and now AI, I'm learning more that helps me leverage AI to accelerate that. The quality I've noticed isn't as good, the transitions, and it's choppy. It'll only get better. AI will get better with the editing. But it was like at the point where did I have to pay an editor? Every time I've tried to pay an editor, it's like a big back and forth on my vision is and what they produce, and I have to keep on giving them feedback, and it's a bit difficult to kind of go with that stuff. And I realized I need to do either number one, I need to streamline it, shut everything down, and do like where it's bare bones, the least amount of software and everything necessary, the shortest production process, and going live and doing this without editing is pretty much like as bare bones as I can get. Even now, I've got camera and lights and had to orchestrate all this other stuff. I've got 2 computers here. I got my 3rd MacBook Pro in the other room. So it's like crazy. So again, I'm going to try to streamline it. I've got one buddy who is very successful, and I know he shot some of his episodes. He does a daily podcast every single day. He hasn't missed a single day. And I was talking to him, I was like, how do you do that? Because I've seen you travel and stuff. And he's like, dude, I'll shoot it on my phone and it'll count as an episode. He's like, I've done it in airports. Sometimes it's 10 minutes. Sometimes I don't have service. And he's like, one time I had to climb to the top of the mountain just to get service and it's spotty. But he's like, I make that commitment and get it done. And with his thing, it's based on like commitment and sticking with stuff. So that shooting every day is like that discipline of going to the gym every day and sticking to your diet or whatever else. So that's his whole brand is based on that consistency. So he realized the consistency was a higher priority than the quality. And I've got to implement some of that thinking. Consistency and the quality of information is more important to you guys than the quality of the and all that other stuff. And I'll get a better mic eventually. I'll get a better camera eventually. I'll get better editing and all that other stuff. But that's basically where I've been. I've been learning. I've been working with a bunch of private consulting clients. Been very interesting. I've learned a lot. I've done a lot with software and automation, a lot of stuff that I am eager to bring back to not only my own efforts, but also tutorials and things to show you guys. I am very deep into AI. I don't want to tell you how much I'm paying each month for AI, but anybody else I know personally, not like a business that's actually implementing it. I'm still playing around and learning it. I'm building a lot of cool stuff, a lot of automation, a lot of stuff that's going to help you guys. So really long answer to that very short and simple question, where have you been? So yeah, I've been here. I haven't been producing as much on YouTube. I've been trying, but private consultations have really been soaking up my time. I also want to get more people into the private group because a lot of the people who were active there just ended up going into consulting. And that's basically all we do. And now nobody really goes into the private group. So hopefully this AI will bring some more people into the private group and get that active again. Because if that's active, then I'll spend time in there and I'll answer your questions. But if I see that it's not active and you guys are just doing private, you're holding all your questions until we get to a one-on-one consultation, then I don't see any questions in there. There's no reason for me to go in there. I stopped going in there. So with this, if no one's in there, you can at least get in the AI, have some questions and answers. Maybe that'll spark some more conversations, but at least it provides that added benefit when you do have that one question and you don't want to wait until the consultation. I'm looking to do a whole revamp of everything. I've even been thinking about changing the name of the company just to really symbolize and embody the whole idea of this being new mindset, new perspective, and a 2.0 stripped down, lean, mean, and efficient machine. What do you think about? I'm not going to say this software company by name. I'm not going to say this one by name because I'm not going to say good things about it. I will keep it private. I won't go into details. I know people who, and I don't like disparaging, I don't like talk negatively. There is one company I will mention by name and specifically warn people away from just because I've heard such horrible things consistently from the ground up, people speaking with the owner, having multiple times, having really bad experiences from misleading sales to very difficult to deal with owner and more expensive. And really, forget all the software. Let's talk. If you need something immediately, we can maybe see where you're at and prioritize you. But with that software, if you're not already in bed with them, would stay away from them. The issues that I recall having, they misled people about the features pretty consistently. And I don't know if these features are now available. But the other issue is that a delivery route planner or something messes things up that I know there were a lot of issues with. And then the problem is if you don't want to use that, they charge you to set up the ability to export your delivery data. And that really annoys me. Like your data, there's, I don't want to, hesitant to say this, but since I haven't said their name, from my perspective, and I'm not an attorney, I've actually got a buddy, I could ask him about this, or I could ask AI. It's your company's data. If it's your client's data, including their delivery information, that's all your client's data. That's your property. I shouldn't have to pay to get access to my data. I should be able to export it. Now, maybe I haven't had this conversation directly with them, but I have heard from multiple people that they basically try to force you to use their delivery app. And I think there's a little fee with that. It's faulty and it's limited with the features. So intuitively you want to use something else, maybe delivery logistics software that you're comfortable with, or just one that has the features that you want, but you're not able to export your data without having to pay them. That's, I don't like that. So have a private conversation and I'll discuss. Make sure you fill out the info so that I have you on the list and I can go through the list of people who are interested in trying out the new meal prep software. Do you do on-site visits? I've done on-site visits in the past. Honestly, there were instances where I honestly had to charge enough money to make it worth my time. Obviously, and travel expenses, plane tickets in these instances. Sometimes it's been local, so it's been a drive, but I still have to charge you enough money to justify not spending time on any of my other projects. Some of my consulting clients outside of meal prep, I'm embarrassed to even say how much I charge per hour, but it's more than what I charge for my one-on-one consulting with you guys. And if you book 1 hour right now, it's $150 an hour. And I've deals and stuff like that where you can get discounts if you buy in bulk or whatever else. But I charge significantly more than that for some of my clients. You got to imagine if I'm not working on their projects, it's if I don't have one of those clients at the time, it's a bit easier. But if I'm taking a whole day or if I'm flying out of town, that's going to be at least 2 days probably that I'm not going to be doing anything with them. I have to justify it. So the amount of money that I've had to charge in the past was something that I felt guilty charging that amount. I just put it out there, kind of hoping to get a no. Because again, it's not like I'm charging so much where it's like, I'm going to make this like gonna be fun. I'm like, all right, what's the minimum to make this worth my while? Because I do like doing this stuff. If I had unlimited amount of time, I would do this for free, but I don't. The reason I started charging hourly for the consultations is I was taking phone calls and I'd be on the phone call for hours. I'm having a good time and I like chatting with other entrepreneurs and helping you out with your businesses and just fat, but it took away from day-to-day operations at my meal prep company. So that's when my business partner was getting kind of annoying. He's like, listen, man, it's your time. You do what you want with it, but you're taking away time from the company when you're taking the calls here. So at least charge for it. So that's how I started. And then once my time was getting booked up, I increased the prices because when demand is more than supply, to be able to weed out the people who weren't serious, charge more prices. So I was reluctant to do all that. So yes, I will do an on-site visit. I really try not to. And honestly, I was really trying to make money off of you. I'd be like, yeah, do on-site visits. Here's my fee, whatever. But honestly, there's very little that I need to be there in person to see nowadays. Like if you wanted to show me your kitchen, your layout, and get my idea, like I don't have to physically go there. You can send me a video, you can map out your kitchen and what equipment you have and where the power outlets and where the drains are and where the hoods are and ventilation and everything else. And we can, that stuff out and I can do that remotely. And it would be a lot more efficient for you and for me to do it that way as opposed to flying me out and anything else. Like I don't need to I've had me there to talk to their sales team and stuff like that. That's all stuff I could do on Zoom calls. And for the amount of money that you would pay for me to fly out or take a whole day to go see you, or even half a day if you're local, with travel time and everything else, like travel time, let's say you're local and I went to go see you for an hour and then I got to charge you for that and any disruption in whatever flow. Where if I could just jump on a Zoom and we have a conference call with your team, we can go over some sales methods and I could do some sales training, and some customer service training, which, some of the stuff I've been asked to do in person, get there. I just realized, like, man, I felt guilty. I was like, I could have done this via Zoom. This could have been, and a layout, because now I have to mapping out your kitchen, trying to figure out how to rearrange it and how the production flow should go. I'm going to need that map anyway. So in any case, do the on-site visits, but take your money, but rather make it easier for everyone involved. At what point should I ship nationally? I've got a lot of videos on this. I won't say a lot, but I know I've mentioned this multiple times. This comes up often in consultations as well. So I'll try to be brief, but I encourage you, if you're considering shipping nationally, look at some videos that I've already got up that discuss it. Long and short of it is, I'll try to be short, without knowing anything about your business, I'd say don't do it. Focus on saturating locally. A lot of people think, oh man, I'm not growing fast enough. If I could only, or they've got like out of town or friends out of town or whatever, they've got some reason like, oh, they're out of my delivery radius. If I could just deliver there, then I'd get some more clients. Or if I could just market nationwide, then the business changes dramatically. Just like I was mentioning in the beginning with the diatribe about the subtle nuances, the difference in what you're going to need for software, completely different. You're going to have to be calculating the fees and everything else. You're going to be doing a hybrid, assuming you've got existing delivery. It's not going to be cost effective to use your LaserShip or one of these big box companies to deliver locally. So now you're going to have a hybrid situation where not all the deliveries are local, not all of them are nationwide being dropped off. You might have different national shippers that you have to coordinate with. The cold elements, insulation, and at the end of the day, it's harder to build a strong relationship with someone who's further away. If they're local and you're focusing on saturating your community, it's a cheaper client, a more profitable client. Retention rates are going to be higher. You're able to meet them in their gym. They're going to be coworkers of other people who are eating. If you're just getting a random person in Vegas who's finding you on Google and they don't know anybody else on you, they've got nobody else at the office eating your food who's going to kind of them on. And when they forget to order, they're not going to show up and see somebody eating your food in the office and go, oh, that's right, I got to put my order in. So there's all these reasons for higher retention, more profitable client, just more expensive to ship and everything else. And there's all these other variables and considerations that smaller businesses are not suited to take care of very well. Before we go any further, I want to show you guys, I'll show you guys the AI. I should have thought about that. Okay, like that wasn't, I don't know, I don't think I had audio. Were you guys able to hear me? Let me try it again, bear with me. Hey guys, I apologize. It looks like we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. So what I decided to do is just split this up into 2 episodes. I'm going to launch them both at the same time. So you're listening, or you're watching or listening to episode 1. Go find, this is episode 2 of Case Live. So the episode 2.1 or whatever, 2.5 or something like that. I'll put that up as well at the same time, and I'll have a little intro in the beginning explaining the snafu.